Republican Senator John McCain of Arizona was at the White House briefing yesterday on North Korea. He joins us now from Capitol Hill. Senator McCain, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
Let me begin with this. Not only were you at that briefing, but you've had a series of phone calls with the president, and you called the Syrian strike a seminal moment in his presidency with the cruise missile attacks in Syria, not just because of the damage, but because it sent a signal, unlike previous years, that America will act. What should the North Koreans assume America will do?
I think they should assume that the United States will react forcefully. But Charlie, there's a real complication, and that is along the DMZ, they have artillery and capabilities that would range Seoul, which is a city of 26 million people. That complicates things dramatically, and that's why a lot of the emphasis has got to be on the only power that can restrain them, and that's China. Chinese have cut back on the coal supply, but I was not encouraged when the Chinese came against our air defense system being in place in South Korea. The Chinese have to really be made aware that this could have a profound effect on our relations with China, because if this exchange began, the North Koreans very likely could range Seoul with their artillery, and that could be catastrophic.
Senator, was there any indication from that meeting at the White House yesterday that military action against North Korea is imminent?
No, but it is clear, and I totally agree, that option can't be taken off the table, but it has to be the absolute last option. But when I say last option, that is when we are convinced that North Korea has that capability to launch a missile that could strike with a nuclear weapon the west coast of the United States. This leader is not rational. He is not a person that we can depend on to act in a rational fashion.
What is the red line for acting because we believe he has what you just said?
If it were up to me, Charlie, I would probably say a missile on the launch pad that we knew for sure had a nuclear weapon on it. I don't think we could wait till launch. We do have defensive capabilities that can intercept missiles, but to count on that alone, I think would be very risky business. Look, this is a very serious issue, very, very serious, and there's nothing wrong with being called down to the White House to talk about it. And it's also the product of 3 previous administration presidents that negotiated what they believed was good faith and turned out to be utterly false while the North Koreans progressed in their effort to acquire a missile and a weapon.
One of your colleagues described the meeting yesterday as a dog and pony show. I'm wondering what your characterization was. Did you learn anything?
No, I didn't particularly, because this is my day-to-day business, but I think they learned about the options that we have. I think that the attention we're paying to it, but I don't think they could expect a specific course of action, because as we just described, our courses of action would be dictated by North Korean behavior.
Senator, one article about you and President Trump said how Trump came around to McCain on foreign policy. You had this dinner with him along with Lindsey Graham. What did you learn about him? What did you come away with? And did it change your mind about Donald Trump?
Well, I've always had respect for the office of the President of the United States. He was very cordial, and we had a discussion on a lot of issues. I was pleased, for example, yesterday that they did not move forward with the revocation of the North American Free Trade Agreement, which known as NAFTA, which would have devastated the economy of my state. I don't think it's me. I think it's a person assuming the most important job in the world and understanding those responsibilities. And in the case of national security, surrounding himself with some of the brightest people I've ever known, and I've known many of them, Charlie, longer than I've known you, which goes back to the Coolidge administration.
Yes, it does.
Well, Senator,
we like Cal, didn't we?
It's a long time.
Well, Senator McCain, it's always good to see you so bright and early in the morning. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.